Welcome to The Music Reel. I'm your host, Nicola Burton. It is my pleasure to be speaking today with Australian Music Festival producer and Golden Wami award-winning Phaedra Watts. And Phaedra has dedicated the last 12 years to the iconic and the much-loved Nannup Festival. Phaedra, it is so lovely to finally meet you.
Yeah, same, Nikki. Thank you.
It's been great because we first came in contact when we brought the jerry cans to Australia, and you were, and I have to say, I've been in this industry 30 years, you were the most accommodating person that I've ever come across.
Oh, thank you.
They loved their time at your festival.
Oh, we loved having them.
Oh, and what they said was, and I've not heard this from other festivals, they said they felt like they were part of the family. And I think, how nice is that?
Yeah, it is what somewhere we describe it as like a bubble, and it is the same. Everyone comes in and we're all the same. We're all together, and it is like a family.
I love it. Congratulations, because look, I've been a festival producer, and that's a hard thing to achieve. So well done.
Thank you.
Now you did do your festival this year, so it was the first week of March.
Yeah.
So, I mean, oh my God! So you would have been what was going on, and seeing this coming towards you. How was that for you guys?
Do you know, it was sort of coming towards us, but it was way in the background. So we weren't really concerned. It hadn't got to that point. And when it just came so quickly. We were really blessed to be able to get the festival through, and there was no concern or risk anywhere. It was a week later that I was up in Derby at a festival that I run up there, Moandrum Festival, which is a cultural dance festival. From the Monday of meetings getting really excited to the Wednesday we were cancelling everything. It was that quick that this happened. So yeah, Nannup was very, very lucky.
So lucky. Now, you are scheduled for next year, aren't you?
Well, we are at the minute, but at the moment we're waiting on another announcement in October to see. Festivals are banned. So for now we can't go ahead, but we're planning it just slowly until we know we absolutely won't. We've got months, but those months are seeming to slip by, and everything's so unknown.
As a producer, it takes a good year to produce a festival.
Yeah.
It's not like you can just go, December, I will sort it out then. It's, months in the making. So I guess from now it's just sucking and seeing and see what's coming. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, so there's quite a few acts, obviously no internationals, and there's quite a few from the East that we're keeping in touch with, but, it's looking more and more unlikely that they'll be able to get over here because our borders are very closed.
Yeah.
And where do we go? And at what point? I haven't yet talked to any of the contractors because I don't want to get anyone excited because everybody is in such a terrible state that until we know, I can't lock it in.
Oh, my God. So, look, in the meantime, though, you obviously are quite busy. So you are on the advisory committee for the new Women in Music Mentor Program. Now, that's run by AIR. Can you tell me a little bit about what that is for this year?
So my involvement for this year was being part of the selection panel, so going through all the applications that had come in and seeing who was at the right space to go ahead and take on the mentoring. And that's the limit that I've had this year, was really just the selection. And that alone was quite amazing to see how many women are out there and the different levels of what they're doing and the passions that they have involved in what they want to be doing. I'm really passionate about women in music. It's an industry that as women we all know is a little bit more challenging, but we do outstanding stuff. So to support anyone else there is such an honour.
Well, look, it's interesting. I went through that list and there was so many women. It was wonderful for me to see. Now, I wanted to have a chat to you about this. So Pushwa, my agency, we've just turned 30. And we were looking...
Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, it's not really much of an event this year, really, is it? But anyway, we're still here. We've been looking at our stats. Now, the ratio between male and female, it's 5% for women. 5%. Mm. So we've been talking to women for the last couple of years and said, okay, look, what's going on? I don't feel safe, number one, even if there's security. And number two, there's still so much sexual harassment. Mm-hmm. Now, when I was gigging, a gazillion years ago, it was the same thing. So nothing's changed. So I guess I want to hear from you because, look, I'm a woman in this industry, so passionate about it, but surrounded by men. Mm-hmm. How do we, as an industry, knowing that, so many men venue managers are out there, how can we do better and how can we actually create an environment where women feel safe and that they don't have to go through that whole sexual harassment thing. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that it's having the conversations and having the connection with other women and men that are in that industry, because there's a lot of men out there that support us and that are there helping push us up. The conversation is so important that we're all talking about this and highlighting it. And if something happens, reach out to somebody and pull something up. You know, let's not put anything under the carpet anymore. Let's be really clear and be confident about who you are and what you're doing. I think that that's something I learned after being very intimidated by a lot of men, not sexually as such, but just that, you know, they like to fluff their feathers around us and make us feel a little less. And it's not true. You know, we're equals and we're doing amazing things. So take your confidence in what you're doing and go for it.
I think that's really great advice for the women that are out there doing their thing, because look, it's physically challenging. We have unique challenges that men don't necessarily have. And I must say, I mean, I'll answer the phone in here and they'll say, oh, can I speak to the boss, love? And I'll say, well, you're speaking to it. I want to speak to the bloke. I still get that after 30 years.
Yeah, it's 2020.
I know. But there's like one really good thing that happened when I was gigging. It was out in the regions in Queensland. There was this one guy who tried to force himself on me and I got out of it. He's still running a pub. And when he came to Manny and he said, I want artists. And I told Manny my story and he, to his credit, he went, no, not working with him. And we sort of shared that information around.
Fantastic.
Because you can't just perpetuate it. It's got to stop. And I think what you're saying is great for women out there. Tell your stories. Don't hold it in. Don't hide it. Share it, because it's not going to do anyone good if those guys out, those old creeps that are still doing what they did years ago.
Archaic.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? That's still out there. But look, another group that really deserves a bit of a spotlight is our First Nations artists. Right?
Yes.
And we really need to have this discussion, because I've been talking to, you know, Phil Wallystack.
Yes.
Talking to him, Adam James, Dr. Mark Binbach. And we've been talking over the last few months about how can we create more opportunities for Indigenous artists around Australia. Now, what is great is looking at Australia Council. They provide that wonderful funding for First Nations music partnerships. Great. We need to do more, though, because the funding is not necessarily going to translate out in the market. So, Phaedra, what are your thoughts on this? What can we as an industry, as agents and managers and pubs and clubs, do to remedy this?
Program them. It's just that simple. I feel like, you know, it's something that I've been doing for a long time, because it's a personal passion of mine, is working with Indigenous people in music. And I haven't understood why there needs to be felt that there's a risk in doing so, or that you need a special platform to put them on. They're musicians. That's what we're programming them for. And they've got some really beautiful music, some really diverse. I've had the best heavy metal band ever was an Indigenous band that I had come from the centre. And I think it's just literally that we need to program them, and that's giving them the support, the experience, it's giving the industry the eyes that are open to see and hear it, and then to take it on and do it themselves as well. Get out into the regions and see it. Go and spend time on community.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've got a couple that work with us and they're always apologising.
Yeah.
Don't apologise. Like, seriously, you are the same as everyone else. So it sort of starts internally as well. And I guess that's a conditioning that is going to take a few generations to work through. Yep. But you're right, we've just got to go out there and see it. You know Buzz Bidstrup?
I do.
Yep. So he took me up to Wadair a couple of years ago. What an experience.
Fantastic.
Wow. And I think everyone should have the opportunity to go out there, like you say, get into the regions. Yes. And the music is unbelievable. Like,
isn't it?
Chops on those guys. Wow.
Yeah. Most of these people are self-taught. They're learning themselves on a community that has very little things, but their passion just drives them to put on amazing music. It's mind-blowing. Music NT run a fantastic program, which is the Bush Bands Bash.
Okay.
First of all, there's a week of business where there's mentors and Indigenous musicians coming together, and from there we spend a week just mentoring different fields, and then we have the bash at the end, which is showcasing all of that happened that week. So 10 bands usually. Fantastic, and there's some really amazing things that have come out of that program.
So I wonder if we could set that up for all the states, so we could all do that in our region.
Trying to do one in WA at the moment, and I've spent about 6 years trying to get the backup to do it, and we're getting a little bit closer at the moment, and we're working with Music NT about how to do that by not taking too much of what they do, just sharing a little bit. But I think it needs to happen everywhere for all of us.
I agree. And it's not just to go, oh, look, I want to tick a box. I think
no more just ticking boxes.
No, we have so much to learn. We are so, like, we really do.
Believe it.
Oh, so yeah, I'm sort of, I'd like to talk to you further about that down the track, because I think if we could all do that, it would go a long way towards opening up the old way of thinking, you know.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Well, look, I think what a great backdrop for us to have this chat. I'm very envious of where you are right now. So
it is pretty beautiful.
You're in Western Australia. What's it like there right now in terms of pubs and clubs? Because we can still only have 60 to 100 people. So our live music shows are at probably 10% capacity. So that's really not great. What's it like over there right now? It's
a little bit better, I have to say, for those, the clubs and pubs. It is a little bit better that you can have, it's still reduced occupancy, but it's not tiny. It's, for me, it's the festivals where I'm stuck at, is why can't we have a festival? Like, you know, I'm stuck in that thing. But the rest of it is, you know, it's terrible. Everybody's having a horrible time. There's less opportunity for everybody, the musician, the production crew, the lighting, everyone is suffering from it. But I think that we are a little bit better in that we are going ahead and venues are operating with live music.
That's good. That's good to hear, because hopefully it'll then spread over to the rest of us. So what's your vision in terms of, it's really hard for so many industries in our industry, like production chains and supply chains. What's your vision in terms of how we get this back on track and get our businesses back on the road?
I think that we all need to have the voice. So ALMBC, the Australian Live Music Business Council, are doing some great things by getting some policy happening and some communications with ministers and stuff to explain the depths of what the industry is. And I think there's still so little understanding about how much it takes to put something on. It's not just a person rocking up with a guitar. No. There's so much behind them, and there's so much of the economy behind it. And then what the economy is, what comes out of that is so huge for us. You know, that Nannup alone would take millions of dollars out of the region if we don't go ahead. Wow. The impact is big.
Yeah, so we've really got to try and work together to find ways. And we're going to have to be a little bit creative and maybe, you know, pivot over here and think out the box there. Because I don't feel like I think you're right, I don't think that the government actually understands what we're doing.
So we need to educate them.
We need to tell them, make some noise.
Yeah.
It has been so lovely to speak to you. I'm so glad I finally got to see your face.
Gorgeous, you
your
do.
Emails. Thank you for all the work that you've done. And I've got everything crossed for Nannup. I'm hoping it does happen.
Thank you.
And look, take care, and I guess we'll see you next time.
Yeah, take good care.